It's me, Evie. Hello. What's up YouTube, Evie here. So we here at Evil Laser just cast the perfect Super Mario Bros. Live action movie reboot. Now I hate calling it a reboot because to me it'd be the first serious take on Mario and the Mushroom Kingdom using live action, and it wouldn't take any creative liberties like the one starring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo did. Which, by the way, I love that movie. But come on, it was not what you would expect from a Mario movie. It was very 90s. Grungy and low budget. Definitely a cult classic, and it's a movie that needs to exist. Actually, I'll say that about every movie. Even if a movie is somewhat bad, I'm still glad they made it because we get to see someone's alternate take on a story. As long as someone eventually comes along and does justice to the franchise and gives the fans what they want, then no harm done. Anyway, let's start. Okay, let's go! First, leading the pack, starring as the most lovable plumber we've ever known, I cast Jack Black as Mario. Think about it. Jack Black's range and his sense of humor make him the perfect actor to don the red cap and the blue overalls. He could play it serious, where he's not trying to be funny but funny things happen to him. Or he could play it self-aware, where he says some funny things but he's still all about saving Peach and battling Bowser. Now he'd have to try not to be too Jack Blackish and rely on that type of humor. But I've seen him do it before, where he transforms into this character while still nailing comedic timing with a less aware, dry sense of humor. It works, trust me, he's good. And he's just big or famous enough to be the lead without it being too ridiculous of a choice. He's our man, it fits him. Let's talk about Mario's brother Luigi. So Luigi to me has to equally be as strong of a character as Mario. He's no second fiddle. But he was not as obvious of a choice as his brother was. Does that make sense? No? Good. Drum roll, please! I cast John C. Reilly as Luigi. He's perfect. He's our Luigi. Not too famous to play the counterpart, but famous enough to where he would bring in the numbers. Now, he's played the lead in a few movies like Wreck-It Ralph, but he also shines when he's the co-star, like in Step Brothers, which is arguably his most famous movie. So, he's our Luigi. He's taller than Jack Black like Luigi is to Mario. He's somewhat goofy, but he has just the right temperament and personality for the part. Yeah! Yeah! Yahoo! Okay, now we need to cast the very reason Mario does what he does. We need to crown our princess. Just like Luigi, this one was hard to pin down as well, but I think you're gonna like our choice. We don't think the princess should be played with too much elegance like princesses usually are portrayed. We need a good range of that sweet royal elegance mixed with a girl who's not afraid to roll up her sleeves and pull up her own turnips like she does in Super Mario Bros. 2. A girl that exudes a royal poise and reserve, but can keep up with the boy's wit and turns it on when needed. She's gotta keep up with Jack Black's humor and possibly match it. Nothing is more cringeworthy than watching someone who thinks they're nailing the humor but actually are leagues behind. So we chose Anna Faris as our Princess Toadstool. I mean Peach. She insists on going by Peach now. She's pretty and she's great at that aloof yet hilarious act she made popular in Scary Movie. She wouldn't be expected to lead with humor because she's not the funny one. But her return fire is what has to be quick-witted while maintaining that maidenly charm we all expect. We think she's the perfect choice. While we're at it, let's talk about Peach's little royal assistant Toad. I'm going to cut to the chase on this one because I've always immediately seen a particular face filling that little lovable guy's mushroom cap. So as Toad, I cast Patton Oswalt. He's a pretty obvious choice because, well, he looks the part in a way. He could play it straightforward as loyal and studious, or he could amp up that self-deprecating, slightly depressed character that Patton's known for. It always seems like he's down on his luck or not measuring up in some way. You gotta love Patton Oswalt. He makes everyone smile. It's a good video, no? Now it's time to talk about the big bad Koopa King Bowser. First things first, how would they even bring Bowser to life? In a perfect world, animatronics and puppetry would be the right answer. But seeing as how most effects are made in-box now, there is a potential for a CG Bowser to work. If you've ever seen Stephen Chow's Journey to the West, in the beginning there's this giant fish dragon trying to destroy this town. The way that this CG creature looked is how I imagine Bowser could be portrayed on screen. Regardless how they would create Bowser on the big screen, we need the right talent to give a performance to do justice for such an iconic bad guy. When it came to finding the right person to play Bowser, I was and am still stuck between two choices. Those choices are John Goodman and Idris Elba. You may be thinking, wow, two totally different directions. Yes and no. I'll explain. Let me start with Goodman first. John Goodman brought Dan Connor's wit and charm to the table and gave us a memorable performance as Sully from Monsters, Inc. Take away the blue fur and the lovable father-like characteristics and replace him with scales, a giant spiked turtle shell, and an undying desire to kidnap Princess Peach, and we have our first choice to play Bowser. His voice has the right tone. Of course there would be room for added effects to help push him more into sounding like a giant creature. Heck, he could even do the motion capture for Bowser too. John Goodman may have lost a lot of weight since his Roseanne days, but he's still a pretty big guy, and he'd be able to make natural, big movements that would work really well for bringing Bowser to life. Even though John Goodman may be in his late 60s, I still think he'd be a perfect choice to play Bowser. Sadly though, we live in a world where time sooner or later gets the best of us. Maybe Goodman doesn't or can't do the movies or sequels. Now this segues into my equally great second choice, Idris Elba. Idris Elba's Bowser I imagine being similar, yet very different from John Goodman's. Goodman to me would have been the epitome of a Nintendo Bowser. A brighter, more funny sort of evil. With Idris Elba's Bowser, imagine a much darker, more vicious Bowser. His voice would be deeper, he himself more intimidating. His plans would be greater and more evil than just kidnapping a princess. He'd want to dominate the Mushroom Kingdom and all who inhabit it. To me, definitely a lot darker of a villain. Man, even thinking about it now, I can't decide who I'd like to see play Bowser more. Lastly, what would a Mario movie be without his lovable sidekick? Yoshi! Like I said with Bowser, I would prefer Yoshi to be brought to life through animatronics and puppetry, much like what they did with the 1986 rendition of Little Shop of Horrors. I mean, imagine it, Jack Black on this animatronic Yoshi riding towards Bowser's castle in the distance. I don't care what anybody says, that's perfect. Other than Mario, Yoshi was the easiest person to cast for. You couldn't get anyone other than the one, the only, Kazumi Totaka. That man is and has been the voice of Yoshi for a very, very long time. No one can do it better. And that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and remember, if you like this stuff, to like, comment, subscribe, even share the video. And if you want to stay up to date with all Evil Laser content, hit that little bell. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in, and thank you everybody for the support, and I will see you guys next time. Evil E out.